going to get ready to get started. I wanted to share a little bit about myself for those who don't know who I am. Guys, as I told you, my name is Johnathan Rodriguez. In short, they call me PJ, and I'm an educator, FRX educator in IM. Been an FRX educator going on 2 years right now, And I'm also a P5000 in the company. So I'm excited to share with you guys some gems, a little bit about, just a small, quick background story, guys. Both me and my wife are full-time entrepreneurs and investors. I've been in this entrepreneur journey since I was 25 years old. I'm 35 right now. I know I don't look at, baby face, but I'm 35. And about 4 years ago, I retired myself and my wife from the 9-to-5 scene. And we've been doing what we're doing now, full time, and we're loving it. We're loving it. And so, I grew up from very humble beginnings, guys. And I definitely want to share this with many people. Sometimes, I know when I, met my mentors and just been around so many successful people, I looked at them at one time and said, man, could I ever reach that level, right? So I just want to encourage you with this one thing, right? There's nothing special about us, any superpowers or nothing like that. Guys, I came from very humble beginnings, at a very young age. I know what it is to come from nothing, really nothing, and struggling all my life. But I had aspirations. I did have dreams to just want to move forward, want to succeed. Matter of fact, at the age of 25, when I did, aspire to be an entrepreneur and start my entrepreneur journey, both me and my wife just got married, bought a brand new home. We didn't have kids at that time. I have 2 lovely children, Emmanuel and Sophia. My wife is Marilyn. I know she's on this call, so shout out to my baby girl, Marilyn. But, we were at a tough spot. We bought a brand new home, and I just got a job, at a steel mill as a supervisor. Benefits were great. Everything was good. And 4 months in, I got laid off because at that time, years ago, there was this, trade war between, China and the U.S., China dumping in all these fake steel into the market. And they ended up laying off all these steel workers. I was one of them because I was brand new. I mean, mortgage was over $2,000 a month. It was a scary moment in my life at a young age being married. But guys, that's what fueled me. That's what got me where I'm at today, because I told myself I would never allow myself to be in that situation ever again, never allow my family, because I'll never forget walking in the house and hearing my wife crying, literally crying. She was 21, I was 25, and it was a very scary moment in my life. But guys, that's what has got me here today. And so I just want to share this with you guys as an educator, as a P5. There's nothing special, magical, right? It's the tenacity. It's your why. We're going to be talking about a couple things here, right? Today's topic is dealing with momentum, how to maintain momentum, how to get momentum for your team. I want to talk to you guys about 3 things, right? 3 things that I've personally experienced, right? That has caused a loss of momentum in my organization or in my team, and as well as even within myself, and how I was able to take certain action steps to overcome those time periods where you're experiencing some type of loss of momentum. So listen, I hope you guys are ready for some gems, because we're going to share this tonight. So let's kick it off with the first thing. The first thing that, can cause a loss of momentum or has maybe even already is not having realistic expectations. Maybe even on the building side, maybe you guys have, you prospected your friends and families, and maybe some of your best friends and aunts and uncles or close, family members have joined you in this business. And it's exciting. I mean, even my brother, he was the first person I ever talked to about this. God bless him. I love him so much. He's still in this business with me, and he's a full-time trader and retired. His lovely wife is actually my partner in Go Live, Golden Girl Nina. And, he was the first person I talked to. And so, sometimes we think, man, we're excited, we're all this and that. And within the first year, some of those people that you brought in has left the business, have walked away from the opportunity. You guys were going out, getting your hair done, your hair did, nails, matching tattoos, whatever it was, right? Everything was great in the beginning, right? And then things hit a rough spot and they have dropped off. Maybe even some of you guys experienced where friends and families know that you were in the business and they decided to join another team, right? Your own friends, your own family. Maybe you've experienced that too as well, guys. So I kind of want to give you guys a bit of a realistic expectation, because I know what it is, guys. Hit P5000 and D rank, right? All the way down to P1000, right? Has anybody ever D ranked before? Has anybody, let me know. I want the real people that is on this call, because God will bless the real, right? Anybody ever experienced some setbacks, which a lot of the leaders today, they won't talk about it. They'll still talk about their chairmen and some of them are P2s, right? It's okay, but it's part of the process. So I want to share with you what happened when I was bouncing around from rank to rank, right? Like that. So one of them was non-realistic expectations. I prospected in my first month in this business, guys. I prospected probably over 80 people within my warm market. Only 16 of them joined my business, right? After over 3 years, I can count with one hand how many are still with me today. And probably less than 2. Let's be realistic, right? I'm telling you guys the truth, right? 90% of the people you bring into this business that you love dearly and you're rah-rah, they're your best friend from high school, whatever, even sometimes, your spouse, whatever it may be, right? You bring them in, 90% of them are going to quit their first year. Guys, they're going to walk away from this opportunity. And so you have to set some realistic expectation and not to try to attach this false expectation, not only on yourself, but the people you bring in, right? You got to be prepared for that, right? Emotionally, nobody likes rejection. Let's talk about this stuff, guys, right? I'm only going to tell you what's real, right? I'm not here to blow any smoke or anything. I'm here to tell you what's real in a situation like this. We want the best for our family. We're doing this for them. We're trying to break the curse of poverty over our family's life. And yet, what's going on? You're leaving, you're quitting on me, right? We're supposed to be road dogs, or you joined another team, whatever it may be. And so setting a real expectation, I had to rewind myself. And at that time, I started to focus on the skill, right? And be patient for the results. Let me say that again. Focus on the skill set and be patient for the results. What I mean by the skill set, guys, I even invested, and I suggest this, right? If you're building a business, you want to succeed in network marketing, in anything, right? You got to invest in yourself. And so I went to 𝐂𝐸𝗧𝗛𝗡. I invested in his whole entire academy for the year, being a member. I invested in the skill set. I said, I need to learn the skill set, how to close, how to prospect, how to build my business, right? I would call, one of my best friends, who is my upline and my chairman, Eric Sawyer, and just talk to him and, hey, man, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you prospect? How did you close that person, right? Focus on the skill. Be patient on the results, right? Be patient on the results. Why am I saying this, right, guys? Because sometimes we're looking for that quick results. We're looking for immediate gratifications, right? And you got to know what season you're in. There are seasons that we go through in life, right? And so think of it like, I always use the analogy of a farmer. I like it because I remember one time I was trying to be a gardener, right? Because I was so bored at home. I just wanted to do something, right? So I decided to do a garden. That garden's been dead for 2 years. I tried, though. But I like to use the analogy of a gardener or a farmer, right? When a farmer plants a seed, the farmer knows the next day that there's not going to be crops, right? The farmer knows I'm in the season of planting, all right? I'm in the season where I have to be sowing the seed. I have to be digging up the dirt with my hands and my nails and start planting seeds, right? I'm not in the season of collecting. I'm not in the season of grabbing crops, right? We look at these chairmen or successful educators and we're like, man, we're trying to grab the crops our first month. Guys, you got to know what season you're in, because you're going to lose momentum if you don't understand that clear expectation. You don't know what it took for them to get there, right? You don't know the struggles, the long nights, the pain, the lessons, right? In the market and outside of the market, the rejection, the people that were their best friends, their families who joined other teams. You don't know what it took for them to get there, right? And so we had this generation that just like, okay, I want it immediately. If I put in work, because we were conditioned like that, go to school, get a good degree, get a good job. If you work 40 hours, you're expected to get paid. If you haven't noticed, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years now. And if you haven't noticed, it don't work like that as an entrepreneur. Your first 3 to 5 years, it's going to seem like you're losing. Huh? It's going to seem like you're taking lessons. What I mean by that, right? If you block out all the noise and all the junk that's on social media that's telling you success is like this, right? And you really set the clear expectation and you say, you know what? I have a 5 to 10 year plan. then you're already one step ahead of the game. If you don't have a 5-year, 10 plan of what you're going to do with what God has given you, we're in trouble. Momentum's going to get lost very quickly, guys, especially when you have a rude awakening, when you realize that you put 80 hours in and nobody signed up. What we going to do now, right? Let's talk. Everybody scream chairman until it comes time to do what chairmen do, right? Until it comes time, everybody wants to be a chairman until the problems, the situations, the arguments, the fights, people leaving, quitting, right? Until it comes time to do what chairmen do, right? It's, oh man, this is going to be good, guys. Right? We want quick gratification, right? I remember growing up, in a Hispanic family, my grandmother, oh God, I love her. I'm so close to my grandmother growing up. That's how I learned how to speak Spanish and everything I learned from her. Actually, I learned how to cook. My wife can testify of that. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I do know how to cook because at a young age, my grandmother was so short she couldn't reach the cabinet. So I'm always in the kitchen like Spider-Man grabbing stuff, and then she teaching me how to cook, and I would cook. And so in the morning, I always wanted her oatmeal, right? Always wanted her oatmeal. And it takes like 30 minutes to cook her oatmeal, guys, no lie. My stomach be hurting. And I'm like, Grandma, come on, man. Like, just give me the oatmeal. We call it avena. She get the avena, right? And she put some milk in the avena, and she's stirring it, some milk in it. She put some cinnamon and some cinnamon sticks in it. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking, that type of oatmeal. Anybody ever had some real oatmeal, right? I'm not talking about the one that you put a little bit of water, right? And you put in the microwave for 2 minutes. Listen to what I tell you guys. Things that come fast have no value. Things that come fast have no value, right? You're coming into this opportunity because you have a 5-10 year plan. You understand you are a farmer. Right now, you are in a season of planting seeds in your business and in your life, right? You're no longer going to set false expectation and take $100 to $1 million tomorrow, right? Let's get rid of all the fake and false expectations. Forget about what you're seeing on social media because comparison is of the devil. You don't have to get into all of that, right? Focus on the real expectation. Tell yourself, I'm going to focus on the skill set. I'm going to invest in myself to learn how to close out, to learn how to network. Right? I'm going to go to an 𝐂𝐻𝐸𝐺 event. I'm going to go to IM convention in Dallas. I'm going to do whatever it takes so I can learn the skill set. And I'm going to be patient for my results because I'm a farmer right now. I'm planting the seed. This is my season to get my hand dirty. And I might not get paid this week. And I might not get any money this week trading, right? I might not see any results. And that's okay because I have a plan, 5 to 10 years. I set some real expectations, right? So that's what I want to share with you guys. Number one. Number two is money. Woo! Quickest way to lose momentum in an organization or even personally is when money becomes your end goal or your only goal, right? I had to be honest with you guys. When I came into this business, it was all about the money. How can I just make this money, right? I'm already investing. I have, some residual income coming here and there, rental properties. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to flip this bag. I'm ready to, seeing all these other people take $500, $1,000, $5,000 to $20,000, $30,000. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. My first year, I lost over $13,000 in the foreign exchange market, right? Money is the lowest form of any type of motivation. Let me tell you why, because money comes and goes. Money comes and goes, guys, right? Money comes and goes. And so in other words, as soon as I'm getting money, I'm all excited, right? Anybody ever win like so many trades in a week? You're 5-0, right? I want you to gauge your emotions when you up there, when your chest is pumped out. I knew the market was going to do that. Yeah, your chest is pumped out. You're so excited. Your ego is so inflated, right? And it's normal. We all, listen, I'm talking about myself, right? We all inflated like, yeah, and then you have a bad week, right? Right? Money, and then now all that motivation just goes right out the window. It just goes down, right? Because I realized that money is the lowest form of all types of motivation. And we got to get deeper in this, right? Because, we hear it all the time, people, and I say it too. I do this for my kids and my family, right? I go deeper though, guys. The reason why I do what I do, right? It has to be greater than money. Somebody asked me, one time I flew out to West Coast and they asked me, they said, why do you do this? Like, you're not getting paid for this or coming out here to help or do any of that stuff, right? And I realized that I love helping people. That's what I love to do, right? And so you got to have something intrinsic that pushes you, that motivates you, that takes you to that next level when money's not there, right? My mentor, he's a multiple seven-figure earner, you know, one of the world's top, top selling authors, right? He's not a network marketer or anything like that. Most of you guys know him. His name is T.D. Jakes, Bishop T.D. Jakes from Dallas, Texas. Great man, awesome man of God, right? I had an opportunity in October of last year. Both me and my wife, my two children, had an opportunity to sit down and have dinner one-on-one with T.D. Jakes, his wife, and his daughter. And it was an amazing experience. You know what T.D. Jakes told me, guys, and I want to share it with you guys, because I was sharing with him everything about business, about just all these great conversations. And he told me, he said, Johnathan, you got to stop focusing on what you don't have. You got to stop focusing on what you don't have. If you continue to focus on what you don't have, you start to expand it in your life. You start to attract these things into your life, right? I'm a believer in the Bible, right? In a good book. And y'all know I'm going to go here because it is what it is, right? If you don't believe in the Bible, that's okay. I've been doing pretty good in my life. And most of the books we read nowadays anyway come from the Bible, like Think and Grow Rich. Most of the stuff comes scripture because, I believe that the Bible is not a religious book. It's a book of keys. It's a book of keys. If you look into it, it has the keys of success in all areas of life. How to have a healthy life, a mental healthy life, healthy relationship, financial success. Do you know in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes 11:2 says to invest in 7 to 8 ventures because you never know when a disaster is going to come to the land like COVID? It says 7 to 8 ventures. You ask any multi-millionaire how many streams of income they have, they're going to tell you 7 to 8. Well, that was written 5,000 years. It's a book of keys. So I want to share something with you guys, right, that I began to understand, right? We got to start focusing on what we have. We got to focus. When God commissioned Moses to save the people of Israel from enslavement and bondage, right? God didn't tell Moses like, hey, go into the forest and cut down a tree and make a new staff. Go get something you don't have, Moses, so that I can use it and do a difference in people's lives, right? No, God told Moses, he said, Moses was like, I can't do it. How do you want me to save all these people in Egypt? There's thousands of people. I can't even talk right. And God said, what you got in your hand there, Moses? What do you got in your hand? Focus on what you got. That's what God is saying. Focus on what you got and expand on. You say, but PJ, I had 30 people on my team. I had 300. Now I'm down to 100. I'm down to 10. Focus on what you have. What ends up happening, guys, is that we end up focusing on the leaders of our team that, for whatever reason are not plugging in or not doing so much. And we end up focusing on them that when new people come in, we stop focusing on them. And why is it important for us to change that focus? Because new people bring new momentum. They bring the highest energy when they come in. But we're too busy over here focusing on this problem. Don't focus on, what you don't have. Focus on what you got. Work with what you got now and allow God to expand that, in your life. My mentor told me this. I called him up, shout out to Darwin, Chairman 250. And I called him and I'm telling him, yo, man, I'm going through this. This is happening in my organization. People not building it. Is it? You know what? He asked me, he said, how many people you signed up? How many people you signed up? And through the whole conversation, he kept asking that. And let me tell you guys why. You never want to get out of phase one. You never want to get out of phase one. How many here have been building the business maybe for 2 years, 3 years? Maybe we have some other P5000s and P2000s on this call, right? You've been building the business, and and then you stop focusing on your own part, PRSB. I'm guilty of that, right? You're not even focused. You got 80 signups, personal signups in your back, over 100 personals, but all of a sudden for 6 months, you've been over here. You know what you've been doing over here? Being a maintenance man. I noticed what kills momentum is when you start to manage a team versus inspiring the team, right? Inspiring the team. Bringing in fresh blood, bringing in new people. Your goal as a P5000, right? I can only speak as a P5000 because I haven't hit chairman yet, and I'm going to be smashing that this year, guys, right? And so I can tell you this: if you're a P5000, you start focusing on doing calls, and you start focusing on this. You take people away from the greatest product in the world, which is the I Am Master Academy. You become the educator, the product, the scanner, the signal caller. You become everything for everybody. right? You become everything. So now you're in management mode. And then you're trying to hold on to the management. You're not building. You're no longer bringing in. Oh, we stay in phase one, guys. You don't want to lose momentum. Then don't lose momentum by hitting P150 every single week, right? Set a realistic goal that I'm going to hit P150 in the next 15 days. Next month, I'm going to hit P150 in the next 15 days. Next month, focus on realistic goals that you can do, that you can control, that you can accomplish for yourself versus trying to control something outside of your own power, which is trying to maintain and manage and maintenance an entire organization, right? I hope this is helping somebody. Let me know if this is helping somebody. Drop your favorite emoji in the chat if you can relate to me. Is this making sense? Are you going through some of this stuff, or is this helping you? Let me know. There we go. There we go. All right, guys, the last thing I want to share with you guys, one of the things that, I realized is an important and a vital role, right? We would think that it's common sense. And it is, our spiritual well-being. I think that's a pivotal point to what has led to my personal success. And I believe it can lead to yours. Again, I can't share with you guys what I have not experienced or what I have not gone through, right? And there was times where I took a 3-day spiritual retreat. I had to escape for a little bit to recharge my spiritual life. Why? Because some of you guys can be saying, well, PJ, I got momentum in my organization. I'm doing good. And things are, people popping rank. I got momentum, PJ. But I'm losing some momentum, right? That's something spiritual. That's internal. That's a personal. See, everything is spiritual, guys. Everything starts out in the spiritual and comes into the physical. Let me share that with you guys. It starts out in the spiritual, comes into the physical. I mean, take business and anything, right? It starts out as an idea. Look at I Am Mastery Academy. It started as an idea by Christopher Terry, right? And if you guys really know the real idea, I remember sitting in a few conventions where he conveyed why he created I Am Mastery Academy, because he sat at the table with a lot of market makers who were selling these bogus courses. I mean, some of you guys maybe know because we hear Christopher Terry talk about this all the time. They're selling these bogus courses and they know that they're manipulating the market at the same time. And he was so inspired to try to create a company, a vision to empower, to enrich, and to educate the people on, on the markets and what's really happening, in these markets. And so it started out as an idea. It was a vision, guys, in his mind, right? It was a part of his imagination. It started in the spiritual before it manifested to what it is now in the physical. So I'm going to tell you guys this right here, right now, right? If you're dealing with lack of momentum and internal, you're dealing with, personal issues. Maybe you're going through something relationally, your family, your parents, I don't know, right? I'm going to encourage you guys, you got to turn to the spiritual, because you can't deal with spiritual things in the physical. Money, I don't care your title or how much money you have. Money can't save a broken relationship. Money can't save a broken marriage. Money can't save, right? Money can't save a broken relationship with my mother or my father, right? Money can't, there's just things money cannot touch at all that can only be addressed in the spiritual, right? I'm a believer. So of course you're like, well, yeah, of course you're going to say that. I'm being realistic with you guys, right? There's people that have suicidal thoughts, right? There's people who want to just give up everything in life. That is spiritual, right? Because I believe there's an enemy that wants you to abort your purpose, wants you to give up, right? Because you were brought to this world to give life, to be a creator, to be an inventor, who you are today, right? And so, we've got to deal with this thing in the spiritual, whatever you got to do. So this is what I did, right? Of course, I went to my spiritual retreat, and I also have set a spiritual routine every morning, guys. Every morning, give yourself, and this is the hardest thing, right? It was for me. The first thing we do when we wake up, we grab our phone and we look through our notifications, right? Everybody does it. It's like it's becoming second nature now. It's an immediate habit. I want you guys to start to do this, right? Just once you grab your phone, take 20 minutes, right, to read the good book. Go over YouTube, read a positive sermon like from my mentor, T.D. Jakes. I've listened to him so much. E.K., right? I mean, E.T., who else? Miles Monroe, John Maxwell, all of these great men, Bob Proctor. Like, you could just literally just tune yourself in for 20 minutes, create a routine. Guys, you are protecting your spiritual aura. You're protecting your mind, right? You're protecting your heart. At least start out your day like that. I can tell you guys, I'll have rough days and I have to go back into my spiritual, into my spiritual routine to shake that all off, right? And so I want to share that with you guys, that everything that, is in the physical, it starts out spiritual. So if you feel like you're personally losing momentum, I want you to, look deep inside of you guys, right? Look deep down inside of yourself and find that routine. Find something that's going to help encourage. We talk about it all the time. I hear chairmen share it too. Great leaders in this organization share about self-development. Guys, that's what I'm talking about. Something to feed your spirit. You got to be able to just block out the noise, right? It reminds me of a story in the Bible when the prophet Elijah, there was a drought in the land and he was praying for there to be rain so that the drought would end. It's been 3.5 years of drought. Nobody's eating, there's starvation. And so the good book says that he prayed, but the way he prayed was he put his head in between his knees, right? He put his head in between his knees. What that symbolized to me is that sometimes you got to start blocking out the noise. There's too much noise, right? It's too much notifications going off, right? There's too much noise that's happening. And you got to learn how to block all that stuff out, guys, right? You got to get a timeout. You might even have to go do a social media cleanse. Self-care, guys, is what I'm talking about. You can't pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup, guys, right? So sometimes you got to block out all the noise. It's a story. It reminds me of a quick story I'm going to share with y'all real quick. I was reading, it was years ago, right? In the Colorado mountains, in the forest. And you guys know in Colorado mountains, I've been dreaming to go to Colorado, snowboarding and all that. That's something me and my wife have definitely been talking about. But the Colorado mountains, you guys know, it's very beautiful, right? And it all looks the same. There was a mother and a daughter who went out and, went, hiking, but with the crew, with a guide and the whole 9 yards. For whatever reason, a girl ended up getting lost in the shuffle of it was a large group. And the mother panicked. I mean, they all went back to the base. They called for searchers. They called the dogs out. Guys, it's a true story. And they went out looking for her. They went out looking for the girl. They were screaming her name. Dogs were barking. Everybody's running. And then the mother was like, everybody keep quiet. Just calm down, just shush the dogs real quick. Just be quiet. And she strained herself to hear and to listen real closely, as hard as she can. And it said that she heard the girl's voice, right? She heard the girl. It was so faint. Guys, there's so much noise sometimes happening in your life. You got to be willing to block out that noise. You might be going through something personal. It's okay. You gotta, block out some of the distraction that's happening. You might not be able to go here or there on a Friday night, Saturday, and hang out with your friends and do whatever. You might not be able to do certain things. You got to learn how to block out certain noise, recharge yourself, right? Get yourself back. A good story is that, eventually the mother was reunited with her daughter, and it was a great story. Thank God for that. But it shows you that sometimes there's too much noise and it's defocusing on what you need to really be focusing on, right? And I know it's hard, guys. Listen, believe me. I know it's hard. Even people walking out of your organizations, leaving, people that are close to you, people that you care about the most, right? I get it. I understand it, right? I feel the same way. But it again reminds me of the story when, the disciples of Jesus were, around a huge crowd of people and they were hungry. They wanted to eat, and in the good book, it says that the disciples only had a few loaves and a few fishes, right? And Jesus told them, hey, tell the people to sit down so we can feed them. And they're like, how can we feed over 5,000, people with the couple breads and, 5 fishes that we got, right? How can we do that? And the good book says that Jesus broke the bread and they started to hand it out, and it fed all 5,000 men, not including women and children. So it reminds me of that story. Why? Because in order for things to multiply in your life, you might have to go through a process of brokenness. There are people that have to break away, right, from your life, right? There's some people, it just has to happen, right? Think about it. To make 2 loaves of bread, just break it in half. For there to be multiplication in your life, that you have to go through that process of breaking away. It might be just a breaking of a habit, a breaking of ego, whatever it may be, right? Tonight, just pray to God, ask God, break away the things that is hindering you from multiplying in your life, in your business, right? In your trading account, right? Start to break away from, maybe it's just bad habits. It might not even be people, it might just be those habits, right? So listen, man, guys, I just want to encourage you, today, those 3 things I've experienced, throughout all these years of building a business, as well as being an educator and a trader, right? I learned that not setting those realistic goals, trying to, rush the process, not understanding what season I am, being patient, trying to compare your results with other people's results, all that will lead to the destruction of momentum almost immediately, guys. Another thing was money. I came into this business was just money, 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 money. Let's get this bag 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Let's go, right? Throwing the whole kitchen sink at it, right? Throwing a whole couple standards on $100 lot size, right? Just trying to go in and not really understanding that the lowest form of momentum or motivation is money. And so I had to sit back, go back to phase 1 and focus on helping other people and duplicating that. And then, of course, the final thing is, if your team and your organization is experiencing momentum, but you seem to have lost your way and it's hard for you to bounce back, again, maybe because of something you're facing, I want you guys to turn inwardly and not outwardly. Turn inwardly and really look for something spiritually that can help you overcome that, right? Even talk to, some people, your upline outside of just business, but really work on that internally. Guys, I'm telling you, including these 3 things will help you rebuild that momentum back into your, into your business. And again, remember, fresh blood is always going to bring the highest energy. You got to stop working with your P2000, and your P1000 and P600. Start working with your 2 and 3s and P150s. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what God gave you that's already in front of you right now. And if it's just 2 people, then you're going to work with them, right? If it's 100 people, if it's 300, if it's 500 in your organization, right? Work with what God has given you now, right? Don't be looking left and right. So listen, guys, it's 10:37. I know it wasn't a whole hour on this call, but I hope you guys got a lot of value, man. Much love to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys just jumping on this call, being active. Don't forget to, check us out on Go Live, me and the Golden Girl, Nina. You'll catch us on FRX on the Basics channel. Our schedule is there. We'll be on there tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So guys, check us out. And again, I love you guys. Much love to you guys. And let's do this, right? How many chairmans are ready to pop this year? I want you to type CH10 on the chat, CH10 on the chat, if you're ready to go to the next level. If this call has helped you, grounded you with some real expectations, and you're ready to just keep on going, keep on blowing to that next. I'm telling you guys get this, you're going to catapult to the next level. You're going to catapult. Once you understand these realistic, goals and expectations, you're going to be grounded and you're going to catapult yourself to the next level. So listen, much love to you guys. I appreciate y'all. I see it. Awesome. C10. Let's go, guys. Listen, love y'all. Y'all have a good night. It's your boy PJ, and I'll see you all at the top. Take care, guys.